Hey, it's Brad here, and today I'm with Emily Rapp Black, and I'm really excited to talk to her. How you doing, Emily?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm well. I'm here to talk about today about our retreat we're doing in January,
Yeah.
January 19th to 21st in Boulder, Colorado, and we're calling it "Your Story Matters: Writing Your Authentic Life Story from the Inside Out."
Yeah.
And thought we'd just jump on and talk about it and say it today. So, what's
Yeah.
that title mean to you?
So I think one of the things or why I was really interested in doing it at the start of the year is that we get all of this messaging. We get it all the time, but we get it especially acutely at the beginning of January. Where it's like, your body's wrong, your butt's not big enough, it's not small enough, you need to eat a bit different, you need to take this pill, you need to take this gut biome, like, ah! Like it's everything is wrong about you. Like there's something you need to fix or change or transform. And I feel like the most transformative things that we do are tell stories about the truth of what we've experienced in these lives, in these bodies, in all of its array of good, bad, ugly, indifferent, terrible, awesome. So your story matters because it's the way that you move through the world with this idea of who you are and a story about who you are, which allows you to connect with other people, right? So if you're talking to someone about who you are, you're writing a story about your life, it allows you to hold up a mirror for a reader, and so they can think about their lives, and in that you've already had a kind of intimate connection that we don't get almost ever in any other kind of writing or messaging, especially on social media, which I think has destroyed a lot of that in some sense. It's a
Mm.
lot of talking, but not a lot of intimacy. So I think it is a really a powerful way of creating connections that cross time and history and culture and class and, you know, bodies to make our world literally a more connected place. So in that sense, everyone's story matters because we're all interconnected.
I love that. And my head then also goes to transformation, like you said. And I know I was changed profoundly in writing my memoir. And have you been changed by your books?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh, am I a weirdo now? Like, which is fine.
Mhm.
I'll totally be a weirdo. Yeah, I felt like, when I've written a book, it's usually been out of an experience that's really hard to grasp, like all of us, right? It's been like, how do you explain to people, I mean, I'm the person that kills the cocktail conversation with like life events, and I was like, okay, well, there's got to be a way to tell these stories that is more, it is rooted in my own experience, but it's also just about human experience.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that it made me understand it by really rooting down into like the not the lessons, but the things that I experienced and how I've metabolized them or integrated them, not overcome them.
Mhm.
I have been able to create something that I feel proud of, but is also something that's meant to be shared,
Mhm.
right? And so in that process, I learned to my own heart better, and whenever I think you learn more about yourself, you're more capable of, connecting with someone else who also wants to share something really true and some maybe something true and really hard with you. So I think in some ways too, it made me, I mean, I've never been that easily shocked, but it made me a completely unshockable person because I was like, oh my God, I'm writing about this. And it felt necessary to me, but I almost couldn't believe it that I was
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
Well, cool. I know, and I relate to. We talked earlier about kind of using this time to reclaim and reframe our life stories, and I know when I wrote my book, just the opportunity to get clear about what was true for me or what was honest for me, and maybe not true, but honest, and able to let go of the idea that it has to match up with anybody else's truth or honesty. So that's something I got. That's something I'm hoping to be able to talk about in this retreat too. So
Yeah. No, I think that's really important. When you talk about your family story and sort of like liberating yourself in the sense from that and being like, here's how I experienced it, like
mhm.
how other people may have viewed it or how they saw me in those same situations is not how I experienced it. And that I think, we talk a lot about truth in memoir and like what is objective and what is subjective. And neither one of those are fixed points on a spectrum. Like we all remember things differently because remembering is itself a kind of time warp, and we're each individuals, right? So it's like if you can get clear on how you remember something, you can keep remembering it and it can continue to change. Like our memories are evolving all the time, right? But I do think when we come out of systems that are dysfunctional or family systems, or we have trauma and people have set these frames upon us, we have to sort of say, no, that's a janky frame. I don't want that one. Here's the one that helps me live my life in the best way possible. And it doesn't look like yours. And that's fine. You can keep your frame.
So we got reclaiming, reframing, we've got transformation, we've got embodiment. So, but we also gonna have fun, right? We're gonna have
we're gonna have yoga. We're gonna have, you could bring your hat because it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be beautiful air. If you come from a polluted part of the world, like I guess we all do now, but I live outside LA, so very polluted. It'll be nice to breathe some clean air. So yeah, it would be great. It's like, I think these, now that we're sort of past the most acute stage of COVID, I think these kinds of retreats really do build community. And they help people understand, or like give us a focused time where you can work on one thing at a time and everyone's there doing the same thing. Sort of like a hot house of concentration and fun. Yeah, I mean, writing at its core should be playful, and it should be driven, I think, by curiosity and just a question like, what will happen today, which is like such a refreshing way to live and in our world. But of course we can't do that because we have to-do lists and stuff. But like in writing, it's really the question, like, what, oh, I had this idea, like, what's going to happen today? And I think like kind of harnessing that is really fun to do in a group setting.
Yeah. And it's almost, I think of the group setting like this, almost like a popcorn popper. You've got all these different personalities, but all of them who want to get vulnerable and like, yeah, see what happens when you turn it on. So
exactly.
Let me just give a few details about the retreat itself. So it's going to start Friday, the 19th of January. And we're going to have kind of an opening circle and intention setting and introductions and a little more than that. And then we're going to have a cocktail hour after that. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll really get down to work and have teaching sessions, journaling sessions, sharing, and then some light yoga and breath work and just, again, just both vulnerability and playfulness. So this is going to be a full weekend, but it's going to be great. And in Boulder, my old home. So I'm looking forward to going back.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. Boulder's a great town. If people haven't been there, it's really fun.
Yeah. Anything else to add before we go?
No, just I hope people will, if you're interested, sign up because we have some slots left and it'd be great to have a nice robust group.